Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Before we get started, come on in the room. Open up your laptop or your mobile device. Grab you something to drink, grab you something to eat, so we can get in here and have a little chit chat. I'll be with y'all in just a minute. Hola from the west side, guys. Happy Tuesday. Let me come on camera. Hold on one second. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hope everybody is having a great day. If you are watching this on the replay, thank you for coming through to watch this on the replay. And please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel. So my beverage right now is a cappuccino. So that's what I'm drinking right now, because here in the West, it is 1 o'clock, a little after 1. And then I also have a bottle. Let me see if I can get it up here in front of me. A bottle of Perrier. So I hope everybody's having a great day. As promised, let me just do a little administrative stuff here and share it out. I shared it out before I started, but let me share it out again. Let's see, we are live. That. And share it out on Twitter. Sharing it out on Twitter, y'all. So I tweeted it. All right. In my Matthew McConaughey voice. All right, and then I'm gonna copy the link. Let me see, I'm going to put it a couple of places actually. Let's see. Conversation. Hold on, y'all. I should have done this before, but it is what it is. All right, I posted that on my Facebook to my audience that know me. So I've promoted it as many places as I can. I can post it on my LinkedIn, but let's see. LinkedIn on here. Anytime you write something. Oh, there we go. No. God, I haven't posted anything in so long. I'm like, I don't even know. How do I post? Yeah. She's got the same question that I have. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. That's so sad. I don't even post on here that often. Isn't that crazy? Let me just... Okay. All right, let me do this. Oh, here we go. Post. Lord. I'm talking about and remote working. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. I'm just like not being myself right now. All right, cool. I've posted it everywhere. And let me come back into the chat, y'all. Just one of those days where I'm trying to do a million different things at the same time. All right, so today I did go to a short webinar in regards to ageism and remote working. And I did get a couple of additional pointers that I didn't know previously from when I was looking for work, over 10 years ago. So let me just start out and say that when we think about ageism and the workforce, you are considered an older worker if you are 40 years old or older. So, the way that we think about older is not the way that the job market, the marketplace looks at older. In our minds, for many of us, our minds would be someone who, obviously, if you're at my age, where I am is at almost 60 years old. Obviously, I am considered an older worker. But in the reality of how it is looked at in the marketplace, once you reach the age of 40, you are now considered an older worker. And for that reason, there's certain things that you need to tweak on your resume, be you going for on-site working or especially for remote working. So one of the things that I did not really get a huge amount of in prior job searches is I didn't get a lot of the ageism because I was in my 40s or in my 30s during those time periods. So I really didn't start to see a lot of the ageism during that period. But I have, and however, started to see ageism even in jobs that I have had past the age of 40 when it came sometimes to promotion opportunities, an advancement, because like it or not, sometimes people unintentionally look at where you are as far as your age in your career and how many years they believe you will dedicate to them. Taking a little drink of my coffee, because I know that there's going to be more people coming in here for this on the replay, because my core audience is not used to me coming on in the daytime. But yeah, we're gonna be doing more of that, at least for the short term. We're gonna be doing more of that. So moving right along in regards to this. So looking at your resume, when you're putting things on your resume, you want to only deal with things from the last 10 years. And a lot of times, for those of us who are older workers, that's a challenge, because 10 years maybe have been one job for some of us, because older workers tend to be more stable. As we get older, we don't do a whole lot of job hopping. We tend to get with a company if we're working in the industry and not for ourselves, and stay there for longer periods of time. Generally, we're going to stay with companies more than 5 years, because as you get older, you realize that if you stay with a company for at least 5 years, you get your full vested and you get the maximum out of whatever benefits you would get from that company. So I just gotta drink a little coffee, y'all. Well, the last of it. Okay, so sometimes it is a challenge for older workers in tweaking their resume, because we feel that we want to have all of our, relevant experience in there. But the best way to do this, and this is something I have to do to my resume now, because I've been at the place that I've been working for about 10 years. So in all reality, I would only be putting where I've been working and my consulting, and I would not be putting any of my previous work experience. But the consulting, my previous job, is not relevant for any of the things that I'm going for, except for the fact that I did consulting in mortgage lending, and I was doing project management in that. So it does relate from that perspective. But then my jobs prior to that, the job that I had prior to that for over 5 years, is directly related to positions that I'm going to be looking at, as well as my just previous job. So for me, I literally would need to list my last 3, even though that's going to go over the 10 years, because of the fact that I need, we want to show that, the relevant experience. Generally, for most positions, they're going to ask for 10 plus for what I'm looking for. But on my resume, I have it as 15 plus. So what I do is I'm making sure that I'm covering 15 years, because that second job in between where I worked, most recently, was not as relevant for positions that I'm going for. That one will be actually relevant for consulting positions. So when I'm going for consulting positions, then I'm going to elaborate more on that one. So that's part of the stuff that I have to do on my current resume. I'm not going to worry about all the places that I've already sent my resume to. What I'm going to do is going forward, I'm only going to list my last 3. And then what I'll do is I'll have another little small portion, towards the end, and list other employers that I had and positions that I had that are relevant to the positions. Like, for example, if I'm going for a position such as, hypothetically, an underwriting manager, okay? If I've got other jobs that are outside of the 15 years that I'm going to be putting on my updated resume, then I would put only the other underwriting, management, or supervisory positions under relevant experience. So what this means for most of us is that we're going to have several versions of our resume. Several versions of it. Generally, you can have a technical resume. The technical resume is the one where, you list every job that you worked on, and what you did on all of those jobs. Then you're going to have a summary resume, and a summary resume is different. On a summary resume, what you do is that you say all of the places that you worked, but then you break down the different skills that you have from all of the employers, like your management skills, your project management skills. If you've got IT experience, you would put, what your IT experience is. All of that stuff are the things that you would do on a more of a summary type of resume. And then I forget what the third one is called. But what I will do is I'm going to try to do a video where I can show you guys samples of it, like have screenshots of samples of the different types of resumes that people can have. And I'll do like a short video dealing with that as to how you convert your resume when you're an older worker out there looking for employment. One of the other things that you definitely want to do, like I said, is if you've got like 25, 20, 30 years experience, you're going to, in your summary section, either you're going to change that to 10 plus, or you're going to change it to something like comprehensive knowledge or experience. Into the coffee. Move that out of the way. Bring my water over. Sorry, y'all. Hope you guys are getting something out this. Hey, Choreo Lover. Hey, this is 48. This 48. So what I'm talking about right now is really the things that we need to do as far as our resume, as we are considered an older worker. And an older worker is anybody over the age of 40. Anybody over the age of 40. And and that kind of makes sense because at 40 years old, most of us have about 20, 15 to 20 years experience at that point, in whatever field we're in. Y'all, this Perrier is good. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try to do a short video that gives you guys examples of what a summary resume is and a technical resume. A technical resume is when you're going for a job that's specific to, whatever field it is that you're in. Like, I would more likely use my technical resume for like jobs that are in mortgage lending or like a due diligence or regulatory compliance, that kind of stuff. And for that's what I would do. But if I'm kind of looking for things that are kind of more broad and not necessarily in a specific industry, but looking for specific job skills, then that's when you're going to use the summary one, which lists your jobs, but then has broken down in sections the different things that you can do. Like I said, project management, if you've got management experience, any IT experience. And one of the things that was mentioned in this webinar that I went to that I had not even thought about is making sure that you have an updated email address for contact information. In other words, you don't want to be using your AOL address, your Hotmail address, all of those older ones, Juno, Earthlink, all, those kind of older email addresses for job searches. What you want to be doing is you want to be using like a Gmail account. You want to be, and I will say that I have a specific Gmail account that I use for my job searches. I have another Gmail account, which is my personal, Gmail account for my personal stuff. Also, you don't want to put like a year in there because sometimes employers might think that was the year you were born. And a lot of us put the year that we're born in our email address. I didn't. My personal email address has the year that I graduated from high school. So they can think that was the year I was born if they want. It just makes me appear younger to them. But that's another thing, like, for example, I wouldn't make my address, DC 1966 at gmail.com, because that would tell them that they would think that I was born in 1966. Does that make sense, you guys? Even though I was born before 1966. But things like that, even though it's wrong, even though ageism is wrong, it's illegal, they're not supposed to do it. It's certain things that we can't, that we have to do to basically make sure that age is the last thing they're thinking about when they're looking at us for employment. And I have to tell you, as a hiring manager, when I was younger, it was very hard for me to not, look at older workers differently that were clearly overqualified for positions. It was really hard to not do that. So I know that it exists. It's just part of our human nature. It's just part of the human nature. So another thing also that is very, very important is cover letters. How you start your cover letters. I know that back in the day, we all put in our "to whom this may concern." Don't do that. Put "dear hiring manager," something like that. And don't put "sincerely." Put "with regards" or "regards." Telling y'all that those are the updated things. Now that those are things that I know, but that's things that some people might not know. "To whom it may concern" is more formal, and it makes people think that you're older. It makes people think that you're older. Oh yeah, Yahoo too. I forgot. Yeah, you probably don't want to use a Yahoo address either. Even though a lot of people still use Yahoo. Yeah, that's another one. Like I said, like you want to use like a Gmail account or what's the other one? A Microsoft. Because a lot of us end up getting Teams if we have Microsoft Office 365 or something. So like a Microsoft, one. Just don't use like AOL, Earthlink, Hotmail, those old ones that we all have an account on and probably haven't been to in 20 million years. You know what I'm saying? I know I have an Earthlink account. I know I have an AOL account. I know I have a Hotmail account. Haven't been to none of them in years. Matter of fact, the AOL account is the reason why I got locked out of my original Twitter account, because it doesn't really exist anymore. It's just out there. It's just out there. So those are some of the things. Another thing is that one of the things when you're listing skills, like technical skills, yes, we want to put down that, we know how to use, Microsoft Office, if we're skilled in Excel, PowerPoint, Visio, all of those kind of things. But also think about the fact, hey, Jack, also think about the fact, what did you say, Jack? You said something silly. You so stupid. You're so stupid. But also think about the fact that if you have a Gmail account, then you also have access to Google Workspace. And if you've been doing any work, in the last few years, you've used Google Docs. A lot of people use Google Docs. So if you don't have Google Docs on your skills, add it on there, especially if you're looking for remote work, because a lot of the remote companies, do use Google Docs to share, the work between workers. And you want to make sure that that's, you just keep that in there as one of your skills. What else? I should have brought the notepad down here with me. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to stop the camera. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Back with my notepad, and let me show this off. Show my, this is one of the things that I have. Y'all may not be able to see it, but this is my Delta Sigma Theta legal pad. It's great. My iPad fits in here, for going out and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. I got a lot of stuff in here. One second. Where did I write that? Oh, here it is. Yes. Okay. The other thing that a lot of us have used and probably don't think about putting on our resume is Dropbox. How many of us have had something sent to us in Dropbox? How many of us have Dropbox downloaded onto our phone or, have a Dropbox account for things that are being sent to us? That's another thing that is really good to make sure that you have is one of the things that is a skill, whether you are dealing with remote work or not, because in most instances, even if you are in a job that is in the office, you're going to have to use things that allow you to remotely send things to people that are on other floors or in other offices. So having that stuff on there is good. Okay, so now what else? Said Microsoft Office. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, that was about technology skills. Yeah, making sure you have the technology skills on there. Also talking about, other tools that like Skype. If you're able to use Skype, Microsoft Teams. What's the other one? GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting. The Cisco webinar, all of those different things. It's just having all of the things that you actually know how to use. You want to have those things focused on there, specifically when you're looking for remote work. But even if you're not looking for remote work, because unfortunately, the idea is that as we get older, we are less technology savvy, which is an insult to people like me whose major was math and minored in computer science. So you want to make sure that you put all your technical skills on there. You may not think of these things as technical skills, but guess what? Employers will. All right, let me think. Let me see what else I had on here, you guys. I took some notes. Where is it? I talked about, updating the format of your resume. Don't, use updated formats on your resume. One of the things that you don't want to have in your resume is objective. Don't put objective in your resume. That's old school. You do want to give a summary of your skills, but remember what I said on the summary of your skills, you don't want to say anything that leads people to think that you're an older worker. So you're going to say 10 or 15 plus years or comprehensive knowledge or expertise or experience. Those are the things that you're going to say. So as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself because, as soon as I get off of here with y'all, I'm going to go and, apply everything that I'm saying to you guys to my own daggone resume. Let me see. Yeah, cut down on long histories. That's the thing. So one of the things that I know as someone who has been working for an extended period of time, we think that if we give all of our history and give these long summaries of what we did at every employer, that sells ourselves to the recruiters. It doesn't. It just tells them, oh, this person is old. Less is more. Less is more. You know, again, so what that means is that what you're going to do is you're going to break out the jobs that you had in the last 10 years, or 15 years in my case, that have the skills that you're trying to promote. And what you need to do is have no more than like 3 or 4 bullets for those positions. Now, for me, the complication of that is on my technical resume is that in the last 10 years, although I worked for one employer, I have worked 4. Do you hear what I'm saying? 4 positions. Because I'm good. What can I say? Yeah, I went from one of the low positions all the way up to one of the highest positions. So, yeah. So, but again, I still gotta. So for me, I'm trying to, instead of having 4 points for each one of those, I'm trying to narrow it down to 2 for each. Leave the long descriptions on the LinkedIn freaking resume. But even on there, I'm going to have to cut some of the stuff down. But because the rule is our resumes should not be more than 2 pages. Should not be more than 2 pages. That's the rules. And I know we want to give these long dissertations, but we can't do it. We cannot do it. And the same rules that I'm talking about on like your technical one, when you're doing the summary one, where you're talking about your different skills like project management, IT, user testing, wherever they are, 2 to 3 points in each one of those, because we do not want to have a book as our resume. Some of the things that we can put, for like top skills for being remote, are being a self initiative, being able to manage time and task management. And that's something that is something that we older workers, and I'm talking about anybody over the age of 40, most of us have that discipline. You want to make sure that you emphasize that you have good written and verbal communication. And the reason for this is because many times when you are working in a remote setting, there's not everything is generally by either phone calls or emails. And I can't tell you, if people say the wrong thing in an email, how it can be miscommunicated at the other end and can screw stuff up. Being able to speak up and ask, questions when you need help. They're not being afraid. Being comfortable with technology. You want to emphasize that you are comfortable with technology because, again, the assumption is that we're older people, and I'm saying, let me emphasize, over 40 for whatever reason, and even those older than that, it's even more. They think that we're not as comfortable with technology. They think the only thing we know how to use is Facebook. Making sure that you know how to use digital tools, and that's what I was already talking about. Things like Google Docs, Dropbox, that kind of stuff. And making sure that you emphasize that you have a growth mindset, that you embrace change and learning. Because one of the things that people tend to think about us as older workers is that we're inflexible, that we don't like change, and we don't like learning new things. And for most of us, it's exactly the opposite. I think that was everything that I had on this. Let me see. Yeah, I think that was all of the stuff. But yeah, one of the most important thing for older workers in your resume, your cover letter, and in the interview process is to keep employers focused on your skills, focused on what you can do, not focused on your age. Oh, one of the things I did forget, I forgot this one. If you have the dates that you graduated from college, or all of that stuff, just take it off. Just put where you went, what you got a degree in, that's it. Don't put the dates on there. Especially if it was over 10 years ago. Yeah, just don't put it in there. Just don't. And I know, and again, that from the old way of doing your resume, we put dates on there for everything. Don't put the dates for that kind of stuff. You also want to make sure that if you got any kind of licensing or any kind of, certifications, make sure that kind of stuff is on there too. Make sure all of that's on there. The stuff and make sure it's the stuff that's relevant to what you're looking for. Like if you are, going for a leadership position, then it would make sense to have an award under your, things that you got for a previous leadership position. But if you're going for a data entry position, then they don't care about that. So you probably wouldn't put that in your resume going to them. It really is that you got to tailor, and I know this is a pain in the butt for some of us, is that you've got to have tailored resumes for everything. I have a tailored resume for jobs that I'm looking for that are in the industry where I've been in, and I have another resume for when I'm just going for stuff in general. But one of the things that I didn't used to list on my resume is whether my positions were remote. So that's another thing. If you're going for remote positions and you have previous remote experience, then when you set up your resume, when you say the locations of companies, then what you would put is remote and just say where they are. And that is an indicator, put remote in parentheses or with the dash before where the company is. And then that gives the indicator to human resources or recruiters that you worked remote. And then that's something that doesn't have to be explained, in the interview. It's already known. So, I hope this has been helpful to you guys. I know what it was helpful to me because, I haven't been out there looking for a job in the last 10 years. So yeah, I did have to do some updates to my resume, and it's painful, when you have all this experience, but you can't put it all on the resume. That's the kind of stuff that you can bring up like during the job interview as to other experience that you have. Again, I've already said that you can find a little section, you can make a little section of other relevant experience for those other jobs that you had that are relevant to that position. But don't put down more than 10 to 15 years of your experience. I'm saying 15 for me because I've been on one job for the last 10 years. So I've got to give them another employer before that, showing that this isn't, my first rodeo. So that's what I'm doing for those. For the ones that are specific in my industry. Now, for the ones that are outside of my industry, what do they care? They're going to be just looking at my skills. So I'm just going to have the, my titles and the last 3 things that I've done. And then I'll have everything in the skills. And, and of course, at the end of the resume, you can always put additional employer or additional work experience available upon request. Now, the additional references upon request part is kind of a sticky one because there's different thoughts in regards to having that at the end of the resume. Some in the industry think that that's an old school practice, and then some in the industry think that it's okay to keep it there. So that's kind of up to you. Sorry, the phone's ringing in the other room. Let me close the door. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, y'all don't need to hear that. Yeah, I told you I've got myself back into the daggone studio, because everybody else in the house was kind of confused as to why I wasn't using the studio to do my YouTube. Well, isn't that the point of having a studio to do my YouTube? Which is a very good point. So now we're doing it in here. We're all good. Hey, uppity. So let me tell you guys where I am as far as my updates in regards to where I am. So I sent out, some more stuff last night. Today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting into practice exactly what I just told you guys in this. I'm going to be making some changes to my own resume, to both versions of it, because I got 2, to both versions of my resume. Excuse me. And then I'm going to be sending out about 10 on couple of them I'm going to be quick applying from LinkedIn. A couple of them are ones that I'm going to have to do the full application for them. So I'm going to do those after I do, the little sprucing up, and I'm going to do a couple of different cover letters that I can pull in depending on what the position is, and do a cut and paste. So you guys, I'm about to get off of here. Let me tell y'all what's going on, what's coming. I will be releasing at least one of my lifestyle videos today, probably my Saturday morning routine, my weekend routine, whatever I call it, I can't remember. That'll probably be coming out a little later on today. Hopefully the one where I cook the summer stew, should be out by tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to another webinar, y'all. And this one is specifically geared around going for remote positions. So tomorrow I will come on and talk to you guys more about going for remote jobs. I know that there's tons and tons of channels on YouTube where you can find these remote jobs, but I don't know many of them that are telling you how you need to put your resume when you're going for remote jobs. So that's part of the stuff that, I'm going to get more information so I can give you more than just my own, experience, but information that I'm getting from, people that know more than me about telling your resume. So I'll give you guys that information. I'll probably come on tomorrow during the day as well. Hopefully it'll be during the day tomorrow. If not, because I really want to do that during the day. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to come on during the day and afternoon, because that webinar is earlier during the day than the one today was. So hopefully I'll be able to come on during the day to do that. If not, I'll do it tomorrow night, but I'm going to try to do it during the day, because that, gives more people time to catch it on the replay during the daytime. All right, you guys, I am about to get out of here. Y'all know I don't have no outro for my daytime stuff. But I did have an intro today. There was an intro. I'm getting it together. I'm trying to get my YouTube business together, as I'm growing my channel, because I know at the end of the month, y'all know everybody's subscriptions are going to be showing, and y'all are going to see all of these people who bought subs. Their subs are going to be gone. Speaking of which, some of those people have just deleted their effing channels. Yes, they have. Some of them have just deleted their channels. That part. But I am still on my way to 2K subscribers, and we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. But yes, you guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. Look out for a upload for lifestyles later today, and look for the other one by tomorrow. But I'll see you guys later. Peace, you guys. I'm out.